Why do millions of Vietnamese people eat lychees and fermented sticky rice on the same day every year? Every year, on the 5th day of the 5th lunar month, Vietnamese families celebrate Tết Đoan Ngọ, one of the country's oldest traditional holidays. Many people know it as Tết Diệt Sâu Bọ, or the Pest Killing Festival. But despite its unusual name, the holiday is not really about killing insects. Behind the tradition is a story connected to farming life, seasonal change, health, family customs, and even Vietnam's famous lychee season. So in this video, we'll explore why Tết Đoan Ngọ exists, where the name comes from, why people eat special foods on this day, and how a farming ritual became one of Vietnam's most enduring traditions. To understand Tết Đoan Ngọ, we need to go back to a time when Vietnam was primarily an agricultural society. For centuries, most Vietnamese people depended directly on farming. Their lives followed the rhythm of the seasons, rice harvests, and changing weather patterns. The 5th day of the 5th lunar month falls during a very important period of the year. Summer heat is becoming stronger, crops are growing rapidly, and many fruit trees begin entering harvest season. But this was also when farmers faced one of their biggest challenges. Insects became more active, crop diseases spread more easily, and both people and livestock were affected by the changing season. For farming communities, protecting the harvest was essential. As a result, people developed rituals and customs intended to bring good health, protect crops, and mark this important moment in the agricultural calendar. Over generations, these customs gradually evolved into what we now know as Tết Đoan Ngọ. One of the most interesting things about this holiday is that many Vietnamese people know it by two different names. The official name is Tết Đoan Ngọ. The word Đoan can be understood as the beginning or the start, while Ngọ refers to the horse hour in the traditional East Asian time system, roughly corresponding to midday. Together, Tết Đoan Ngọ refers to a celebration held around the time when the sun and summer energy are considered to be at their strongest point of the year. For agricultural communities, this period marked an important seasonal transition. It was a time when crops were growing rapidly, fruits were beginning to ripen, and farmers entered one of the busiest periods of the agricultural calendar. But in everyday life, many Vietnamese people use another name, Tết Diệt Sâu Bọ, or the Pest Killing Festival. This name comes from a well-known folk legend. According to the story, after a successful harvest, farmers suddenly found their crops being attacked by insects and pests. A mysterious old man named Doi Truan appeared and instructed the villagers to prepare offerings and follow certain customs. After doing so, the pests disappeared and the harvest was saved. Whether the story is historical or symbolic, it reflects a very real challenge faced by generations of farmers. Protecting crops from insects was essential for survival. Over time, the practical concerns of farming became closely linked to local beliefs and customs. As a result, the same holiday came to be known by two different names. One name, Tết Đoan Ngọ, reflects its position in the seasonal and lunar calendar. The other, Tết Diệt Sâu Bọ, reflects the agricultural concerns and folk traditions that shaped how ordinary people experienced the festival. And these beliefs eventually influenced one of the holiday's most unusual customs, the foods people eat early in the morning. Once we understand why the festival is associated with killing pests, the next question becomes, why do people wake up and eat special foods early in the morning? This is one of the most distinctive traditions of Tết Đoan Ngọ. According to traditional beliefs, the early morning of the 5th day of the 5th lunar month was considered the best time to remove harmful influences from the body. Just as farmers were trying to protect their crops from insects and disease, people also wanted to protect their own health during the hottest period of the year, and that's where food became part of the tradition. The most famous food associated with Tết Đoan Ngọ is rau nếp, or fermented sticky rice. Traditionally, people would eat it first thing in the morning, sometimes before having any other meal. Many believe that its fermentation could help eliminate harmful organisms inside the body and improve digestion. Today, most people no longer eat it for that reason, but the tradition remains one of the strongest symbols of the holiday. The way rau nep is prepared also varies across Vietnam. In northern Vietnam, it is often served as individual fermented grains that are slightly sweet and mildly alcoholic. In central and southern Vietnam, it may be pressed into small cakes or prepared differently depending on local customs. But fermented sticky rice isn't the only food people eat on this day. Seasonal fruits also play an important role. Plums, lychees, mangoes, and other fruits are commonly eaten during the morning ritual, partly because they are abundant at this time of year, and partly because they became connected to the idea of cleansing and refreshing the body during the summer season. In many families, children would wake up and be given these foods before breakfast, continuing a tradition that had already existed for generations. And among all these seasonal fruits, one eventually became more closely associated with Tết Đoan Ngọ than any other. For many Vietnamese people today, seeing fresh lychees appear in markets is one of the clearest signs that Tết Đoan Ngọ is approaching. In fact, for younger generations living in cities, the holiday is often associated just as much with seasonal fruits as with its traditional rituals. But the connection between Tết Đoan Ngọ and lychees didn't happen by accident. The festival takes place at almost exactly the same time that some of Vietnam's most famous fruit-growing regions enter their harvest season. In northern Vietnam, provinces such as Bac Giang, today Bac Ninh, and Hai Giong, today Hai Phong, begin harvesting millions of tons of lychees during this period. As a result, the fruit becomes widely available across the country just as families are preparing for Tết Đoan Ngọ. But lychees are only part of a much bigger story. Historically, this time of year marked one of the first major harvest periods after months of cultivation. Markets suddenly became filled with plums, lychees, peaches, mangoes, and many other fruits. For farming communities, these weren't simply foods. They represented the rewards of hard work, favorable weather, and a successful growing season. That's why seasonal fruits gradually became an important part of family offerings. People would place the freshest fruits on ancestral altars as a way of expressing gratitude for nature's abundance and praying for continued prosperity during the months ahead. Among all of these fruits, lychees eventually became the most recognizable symbol because of their timing and popularity. Today, when Vietnamese people think about Tết Đoan Ngọ, many immediately think about baskets overflowing with bright red lychees. And while the fruits themselves may attract the most attention, the way families celebrate the holiday can actually look quite different depending on where you are in Vietnam. Like many Vietnamese holidays, Tết Đoan Ngọ is celebrated across the country, but local customs vary from region to region. In northern Vietnam, fermented sticky rice, lychees, and plums are among the most common foods prepared for the holiday. Many families also prepare simple ancestral offerings and gather together for a meal. In central Vietnam, traditions often reflect the region's unique cuisine. Bánh ư cha, a small pyramid-shaped rice dumpling made with alkaline water, is one of the most recognizable foods associated with the festival. In some areas, chaku, a sweet dessert made from millet, also appears on family tables. Meanwhile, southern Vietnam offers perhaps the greatest variety of fruits during Tết Đoan Ngọ. Because of the region's tropical climate, family offerings often include a colorful selection of seasonal produce. Despite these differences, the spirit of the holiday remains remarkably similar throughout the country. Families gather together, remember their ancestors, celebrate the changing season, and wish for health, prosperity, and a good harvest. And although Vietnam has changed dramatically over the last century, these traditions continue to survive in modern life. Today, most Vietnamese people no longer celebrate Tết Đoan Ngọ as an agricultural ritual. Few families worry about crop pests, and most people no longer believe fermented sticky rice can eliminate harmful organisms inside the body. Yet the holiday continues to thrive. In the days leading up to Tết Đoan Ngọ, markets become noticeably busier. Fruit stalls are filled with lychees and plums, vendors prepare fermented sticky rice, and families begin shopping for ancestral offerings. For many people, The festival has evolved into a celebration of family, seasonal food, and cultural identity. It's a reminder of a time when daily life was deeply connected to nature and the agricultural calendar. And even in modern cities filled with skyscrapers, technology, and fast-paced lifestyles, these traditions still find a place every year. Because while the meaning of the holiday may have evolved, its connection to family, memory, and seasonal rhythms remains remarkably strong. Tết Đoan Ngọ may be known today for lychees, fermented sticky rice, and seasonal fruits. But behind these familiar traditions is a story that stretches back through centuries of farming life, changing seasons, and family customs. It's a holiday that reminds us how closely everyday life was once connected to nature. And every year, when the first baskets of lychees begin appearing across Vietnam, they don't just signal the start of harvest season. They also announce the return of one of Vietnam's oldest and most enduring traditions,